We are talking about the man with the bag this week. We are talking about big boy up north. We are talking about Santa Claus.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yes. So I'm actually very excited for this episode, and I'm excited to do it with you, honestly, Daniel, because we haven't discussed if we're going to have Carmina believe in Santa or not. So we're going to talk about that today.
But Santa is real, so I don't understand what for believing in it is not.
Yes, on that note, if you have children around,
Santa's real.
Maybe put some headphones in or send them to a different room so we're not destroying dreams. I'm not decided at all. And y'all know me, I am all for Christmas. I live and breathe Christmas.
And I live and breathe for Christmas to be over so I can get on with reality.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you weren't really, you didn't really celebrate Christmas growing up.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's different for you. For me, I mean, you know, I've told you a lot about, how my upbringing was with Christmas. My parents went all out for Christmas. It was like a Christmas store threw up in the house, the lights, the tree, the presents. We wrapped every single little present. We had the stockings. Opening presents on Christmas Day was the highlight of our year. It was everything you could possibly think of. Christmas music nonstop. The Christmas towels. We had everything. And we did do the Santa thing. Honestly, it kind of just stopped happening at some point for when we, stopped believing in Santa. I remember, because my sister and I hated surprises. So every single year for Christmas, for our birthdays, we always had this pact between the two of us that we would always tell the other person what they were getting ahead of time. So we would weasel our way into whoever was buying the presents, and then we would be like, oh, what are you getting? Or, oh. We would find out what the other person was getting, and then we would run to tell the other person what it was, always.
So you never played Secret Santa legit growing up?
Never.
Where, it was actual surprise?
Never. If something was a surprise, we would turn on each other and be like, you knew, why didn't you tell me? And we had to be like, no, we couldn't figure it out, whatever. And so with my parents,
God.
with my parents playing Santa, we would find the presents in the closet under the bed, and then Christmas Day we would be like, interesting, this says it's from Santa, but we found it in the closet in a drawer somewhere 3 weeks ago. Very, very interesting. But we were so little, because at that time we were probably, 6, 7, maybe. We were pretty young still. We were young enough that in our little brains we were like, oh, if we tell our parents that we know Santa's not real, then we won't get those presents from Santa. And so in our little brains, we were like, oh, that means we'll get less presents. So that's why we never told our parents that we knew Santa was fake. We just continued to play the game. You know what I mean? And then here we are at 28 years old. And technically we've never said, Mom, I know you're lying about Santa. We just kind of grew out of it. So we never had the issue of Mom, Dad, how could you lie to us? We just kind of skipped that whole phase.
Yeah, we just didn't really celebrate Christmas for us personally because, it's California, the weather's the same, it's 60 something.
Yeah, but you have Santa in the swimsuit.
Do we?
Yeah.
I remember no Santa in no swimsuit.
Did your parents did they tell you about Santa? Did they play the whole...
So I was raised up, Christian stuff, so we would go to church, every Christmas we were at church, and there were Santas there and stuff, and big old trees and everything. Yeah. But
you weren't raised to believe in Santa.
Not really.
Did your... Because I'm trying to narrow down if that's your family thing, or if it's because I said, you didn't really celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of it, or if it was a Christian thing, or if it's an Asian thing. I'm trying to narrow down. Did your high school friends and all that, did they celebrate Christmas? Did they believe in Santa?
I don't know, honestly. Oh, hey, Santa came. Yes, is that what you're asking? Were they oh my God, Santa came yesterday and look what he got me? Or is it like, is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Did they celebrate Christmas? Did they have Christmas trees up? Did they get presents for Christmas? Like,
I mean, yeah. When you were like a kid, but you like celebrated till you were like out of the house. 10 years old, it was like, hey, here's your gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still got gifts. Like, that was still a thing. Like, Merry Christmas, we got you a present. Like, the present thing was there, but it wasn't the whole decorating, like the whole 9 yards. You know, decorating a tree, Santa came. Like, look at all this. It was like, here you go. And then it was just another normal day. I just got an extra gift to play with, you know?
Dang.
What do you mean, dang? Cleanup was no cleanup. Freaking everything was smooth. I got to eat what I want. It wasn't
Is
this
that
like
a California thing?
I don't think so.
There's too many variables here.
Yeah.
This is
you
tricky.
can do a poll.
No,
do a poll on your podcast.
We'll
be
do
like
a poll.
how did y'all and see? But that was just a raise, and I didn't mind. It was like
so then you didn't have to because I looked into this of the whole because that's kind of a controversial topic of like, are you going to have your kids believe in Santa or not?
Yeah.
And the biggest thing I've seen is, you know, the whole debate of, oh, you're lying to your kids. They're going to distrust you.
Wait, like there's people that like...
There's a lot of studies I've seen of, they're saying the downfall of lying to your kids and saying Santa is real is that when they find out he's not real, they're like, why did you lie to me? And so it can sow some seeds of dissension, you know, in between the kids and the parents.
So
that's
your parents,
the biggest argument.
so this was, okay, sorry, I'm on the wrong podcast episode here. Let me read. So you're saying that like, so for you, did your parents tell you Santa was real or did they never say anything and then you found out Santa wasn't?
No, they absolutely told us Santa was real. Every year we would get presents from Santa.
Okay, that's different. Yeah, my parents, like, I caught them being the tooth fairy. Like
I never caught my parents being the tooth fairy.
Like,
they were sneaky. I never caught them.
They didn't leave like $1 in their phone.
Oh, they would, but I never caught them.
Oh, you're just a deep sleep. I mean, I was a deep sleeper too, but I like caught them red-handed. But that's what I'm saying is I'm like, I guess I was just that kid that I was like, I know this ain't real. And once they, like, I told them and they found out, they were kind of like, all right, there's no point even, like, pretending to try the little that they did, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, I'd imagine most kids are pretty similar where we're like, okay, like, they keep saying Santa's real. We're going to catch this, you know, guy red-handed. And then when they, you know, eventually, like, find out that he's not, I don't know.
I'm just saying what the studies say. A lot of them, that's like the biggest argument. That's the biggest argument between like saying if you're going to go the Santa route or not going the Santa route is, do you want to lie to your kids or not? That's a route that they take. Okay. And like I said, I never had that experience because, and I'm saying that as like, we were such a Christmas household. Mm-hmm. And then when we found out it wasn't real, we didn't have that mistrust. So I feel like I'm probably a pretty good indicator. I don't really buy the whole, is that lying to your kid? You know what I mean? You can give them a little something nice to believe in. Like even now, it was, bless her heart.
Levels to lying too, you know?
Bless her heart. You know my mom, like, she is the purest soul. Has such like a childlike innocence. I mean, she loves Christmas, obviously, you know. Mm-hmm. And when I watched Rudolph, and I'm like, damn, Santa bullied Rudolph too. This is some shenanigans. I was texting her, and I said, I'm like, how rude, whatever. This is what my mother texted me about it. She said, the moral is, even good and kind people can misjudge and be completely wrong. It is the noble character that can remain good, though feelings are crushed, keep their dignity, and not hold a grudge at the end, even if it feels justified. That movie always made me cry, with like 4 heart emojis. So that's how she feels about Santa and Christmas, right? Yeah. And so we never felt like the whole mistrust thing, but it is real. Like, do you want to lie to your kids? I don't really want to lie to Carmina, but
so you're saying like if she just point blank hits that age where she's like, you know, people have been talking at school and like some people think Santa's real, some people don't. Like, is Santa real? Then that's what you're getting to.
If she asked me point blank, I would tell her the truth. But here's where I'm kind of, I don't know if conflicted is a strong enough word, but I liked the magic of Christmas when I was growing up. I liked Santa and things like that. Yeah. It's a nice thing to do. It's a nice tradition. Like, I have a lot of really, really good, very strong memories of Christmas in my household growing up. And so I do want her to have that. So I'm not saying I don't know that I'm full no Santa, because I kind of like that. You know, it's kind of sweet. But I was thinking about it a little bit more as I was kind of brainstorming for this episode. And yeah, I mean, you have the mistrust aspect on one side. And I thought it was interesting too, because we were raised painfully Catholic, like so religious. But my parents, and especially my mom, was absolutely, even though she was so religious, she was very much so Santa, Tooth Fairy, leprechauns on St. Patrick's Day, would leave the little pot of gold candies, all that stuff, right? And I think it's interesting because looking back now, I'm like, that's a bold move to make, Mom, because then as your kids get older, wouldn't that be difficult to distinguish, like, oh, hey, God is real, can't see him, but believe in him. And I told you Santa was real, can't see him, but believe in him. But don't worry, you know, you're older now, so yeah, Santa's fake. I lied about Santa, but I didn't lie about God. Still believe in God. You know what I mean?
Yeah, slippery slope.
It is a slippery slope. Because I don't know, like, it's obviously we're not religious, so we don't necessarily have to consider that aspect of the Santa argument. But for everyone else that is religious, I feel like that'd be pretty difficult to do. So I'm kind of surprised, honestly, that Christians do believe in Santa and have their kids believe in Santa.
Yeah.
Because how do you, I don't know. I don't even know how you would deal with that.
Yeah, me neither. That's a good point. You just gotta have faith or something.
Yeah, but faith in what? Okay, have faith in God, have faith in all of this stuff, in the humanity and, you know, life after death, but then ignore the faith that you had in Santa.
Some people still have faith in Santa, you know?
And so, okay, so that's kind of on the more of like the don't believe in Santa side. I have some more aspects of don't believe in Santa. And like I said, this is coming from me, the most Christmassy person ever, I feel like.
Yeah.
So that's why I think this is really interesting, because I'm like, everything is sort of telling me don't believe in Santa, or like don't have my kid believe in Santa, but I still kind of want to have her believe in Santa. Yeah. But the mental load. So I had never considered it before in that light, but I watched a video.
What, Santa's mental load from all the presents?
No.
Keeping the list of kids?
No, the parents.
Oh.
And the work. So I watched a video on social media, and I'd never considered this before. But once he said it, I was like, man, that light bulb just went off. So he was saying that he didn't tell his kids to believe in Santa because he was like, all of the mental load of making Christmas special, of picking out all of these perfect gifts for your kids, and of doing all this stuff, of putting out the cookies. Like, he said, I don't want my kids to put all of the, like, to chalk all of that up, all of that work, all that effort, that mental load, to chalk it all up to Santa. He's like, no, I want to give credit where credit is due. Because he was saying growing up, he believed in Santa. And he was like, you know, Santa knows me better than my parents do. Because Santa knows what I really want. Santa knows the perfect gift for me, all this stuff. And so he was like, you know, my parents put all this work and effort into making a perfect Christmas, which happened every year. And he said, but I gave all of the credit to Santa, not to my parents. And so he was saying with his kids, he was like, no, like, I think they should appreciate the work that goes into making a perfect holiday and give credit where credit is due. And I kind of like that idea too, because then you don't have kids growing up, you know, and then they just expect everything to happen for them, and they're not actually appreciating all of the work that's put into it.
That's a good point.
And the other aspect kind of goes on the no side for Santa. So we're on what, 4-1 right now on a no to a yes for having our kid believe in Santa. Yeah. But I don't know how much I love the whole tie between behavior and presence attached to monetary value. I don't know how much I love that, because if you think about it, yes, you want your kids to be good. Yes, you want them to be nice to other people. And yes, I can see how that can be beneficial to say, hey, little kiddo, if you're good, you'll get extra presents. But what about people that aren't as rich as other people? You know what I mean? And then, okay, the bigger, more expensive gifts you get, the better you behave, the more you'll be rewarded. So then what if your parents aren't super loaded and they get you the best gift that they can, but maybe that doesn't have a lot of monetary value? Then does that mean that that kid was inherently less good, that they were bad somehow, that they were acting up because they got a smaller gift? That's not the right mentality to have, I don't think. And also, I mean, not to be lame, but the whole be good for goodness sake, you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be like a, hey, let me bribe my kid with good behavior. They should just want to be decent human beings, not just once a year, so that way they can get a better gift or more gifts.
Yeah, do we want her to believe in Santa? I don't know. Like, yeah, like you said, if she asks this point blank, I'm going to be like, nah, I mean, he don't exist.
Well, that's
But
when
we're
she
still gonna
already
celebrate
believes.
Christmas.
Do you want to raise her believing in Santa?
Like, from the moment, like, when she starts 1 or 2 or whatever, starts understanding stuff and being like, Santa Claus is coming, yeah. Or do we want to squash a 1, 2-year-old kid's dreams of like, you hear these songs? Yeah, it's about a made-up person. He doesn't exist. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Man. Dang, I don't know. That's kind of tough to address too, you know?
I mean, that's what this whole episode is about, is are we going to have Carmina believe in Santa or not?
I mean, you brought up the good point about the distrust thing, but how kids are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you lie about that. So now I'm kind of like, dang, like, I'm not trying to mess her up like that, you know? Like, I can't trust you for anything. Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I think is kind of interesting, though? We just talked about essentially 4 different reasons, like pretty big, very valid reasons why you shouldn't have your kid believe in Santa, but yet we're still discussing this.
Yeah, I mean...
So obviously there's some sort of inherent value to having your kid believe in Santa.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Like I said, coming from the most Christmas person ever here.
Yeah. I mean, it's just those little things that, like, we were raised on, you know? Like, it's the whole, like... Try to think of that concept, like, obviously as a kid you're innocent, right? Like, you don't know about, like, the evils of the world, you know, things like that kind of thing, and so you want them to keep that naive,
that just pure innocence,
sense, yeah, of like,
that
oh
just
my
simplistic
gosh,
joy of Christmas, you know?
Yeah, and you want to keep that as long as possible, and not just with Christmas, but like all aspects of life, you know? Because then there comes that time where, like, you know, they ask a hard question or they go into a situation and you're kind of like, hey, look, like, you know, this is just how the world is and stuff like that. Dang, now you got me thinking. I don't know.
I don't know either. That's what I'm saying. I'm not...
Because the joy in her face, you know, when it's like,
even right
Santa
now,
comes and like knocks, she's like, oh my gosh, Santa's here. And just to never have that and be like, hey, I'm Scrooge. Here's the reality. Here's a dang gift. We worked our asses off for it. Get you a present. You know, it's like, it's just, I don't know. Do I want to be like, I'm going to pull that card one day, you know, like guaranteed. Like, we're just going to be real with her, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why, like, why not try and keep that ignorant, that, you know, ignorance is bliss, yeah, for as long as possible. She'll either catch us or she'll, you know, learn another way, but... Yeah.
It's tough. I don't... Because, yeah, I do... Like I said, I have so many good memories growing up.
They were all lies.
They were lies. They absolutely were lies. But they were still good memories. Yeah. And even now, like, when she wakes up really early in the morning and she's just ready for the day, so then I take her downstairs. And sometimes I just sit on our stairs and I have her I hold her, and she looks at the Christmas lights and the Christmas decorations, and you can see the light, like, literally reflecting in her little eyeballs, and she could just stare at the tree and stare at the decorations for minutes.
Uh-huh. Just not blinking, not looking away.
Just fascinated. Like, just pure curiosity, just bliss. And I just think that's the cutest thing in the world. Yeah. And I don't know, I can't wait for her to be old enough where she does believe in that stuff and she kind of knows what's going on. And yeah, I think it'd be really adorable if she does believe in Santa.
Yeah. I think so too.
Even though we have 1,000,001 reasons why maybe we shouldn't. I don't know. Like I said, obviously there's still a pull there because we're still talking about it.
Yeah. I don't want to take that away from her, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, there was Santa, you know, like pictures at the mall, yada yada, and like...
We never did pictures with Santa as a kid, though.
Oh, gosh.
But we also lived out in the country. Oh, yeah, okay. We also lived out in the country, though, so that was maybe part of it.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the whole, we'll do Santa till she gets to the point where...
She asks questions, yeah.
Yeah. Just because I think I don't want to take that from her, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want her to grow up and, you know, when she's raising her kids, they're like, oh, when did you... You know, like, when all the kids like, oh, I know Santa's not real. They're like 8, 9 years old, and they're like asking around, like, when did you find out? Oh, 2 years old, and my parents were like, this is all freaking made up crap, and we're not going to believe. Yeah. We had all the Christmas things, the trees, the presents, everything, but from a young age, I knew Santa wasn't real. Like, it's just one of those things, like,
you know,
why take it from her, you know?
Yeah. You know, it is funny, too, and this is obviously not backed by scientific fact whatsoever. I found this in, like, the depths of, like, a conspiracy theorist article, basically. And they were like, why would you want your kids to be raised like it's a system and they're always observed and then they always feel like they're on display, you know, the whole like Santa's always watching, whatever.
Oh,
and they're like, yeah, just setting them up for governmental surveillance. And I'm like, okay, well, you didn't get hugged enough as a child.
Yeah.
All right. But.
Yeah, I don't like to dive too deep into that stuff. It is kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
He sees you when you're sleeping. It's like, what the heck? And all these kids singing a lot of those songs, like, not really thinking about it. And then you, like, think about it. And then you're like, oh my gosh, that's really weird.
Mm-hmm. So I guess for the other parents, feel free to chime in. Let me know what you guys are doing. What are we doing? Are we having our kids believe in Santa or not? I'm telling you, once you become a parent, then these are the real difficult decisions you've got to deal with, you know? These are the hard hitters. But yeah, that is it for us today. So enjoy your holiday season. Make good choices. Be a decent human being. Take care of each other. Don't tell a kid that Santa's not real if they still believe in Santa.
But don't tell them it's real. He is real either. Just kidding. Do what you want.
Do what the parents want. How about that?
But yes, no, respect the parents' wishes. But also don't lie to kids.
Yes. What Daniel said. All right, y'all. I will catch y'all next time. Okay, bye.